What's up, everybody? Mr. Irrelevant here, back one more time, checking in on a Sunday night in Dallas, Texas. And speaking of Dallas, just want to talk to you guys real quick about the blockbuster NBA trade that happened today between the Brooklyn Nets and the Dallas Mavericks, sending Kyrie Irving to the Mavs. So just wanted to share my thoughts with you guys on that, and we'll just kind of go over a few key points real quick. Before we dive into it, go ahead and click that like button, push that subscribe bell, and we'll get right into it. So my thoughts overall, being a Dallas Maverick fan, a little bit disappointed that they made the move. You know, I thought that the Lakers would be the team to go ahead and grab Kyrie. Seemed to me that it made the most sense for them to trade for the superstar point guard, but Mark Cuban had other ideas. So as we analyze the trade, obviously it's going to upgrade the Mavs' offensive potential, take some pressure off Luka, and that's a good thing. Obviously, he doesn't have to play quite as many minutes. His usage can go down a little bit, and in stretches of the game, you can just give the ball to Kyrie and let him take over. So I do like it from that standpoint. Another positive for the Mavericks is, they're basically a 500 team right now. So, they really weren't headed anywhere. Even if they were to make the postseason, which they would have made it, the postseason, you can't really take them seriously as a championship contender. So I do like, not sitting pat and making a move, being aggressive. That usually is better than just sitting pat and doing nothing at all. I don't think Cuban and the front office of the Mavs really thought that they liked where the Mavericks, currently sat in the West. So they decided to make a move. So can't really fault them for that. I just think long term, it's not going to work out. You have two ball dominant guards that usually doesn't bode well. And now your top three players with Kyrie, Luka, and Christian Wood. None of the three are defensive-minded players at all. Luka has obviously improved a lot this season, but your three best players are all offensive players, and neither one of them is really an above-average defender. So I think that's going to hurt the Mavs. They're currently 24th in defensive rating in the NBA, and that's before making this move. So I don't really like the fact that they had to get rid of Dorian Finney-Smith, who's one of their best defenders, period. Wing defenders, but one of their just best 3-and-D guys. I think that's really going to hurt them on the defensive side of the ball. Obviously, I think we'll see a lot more Josh Green, a young up-and-coming player who has a lot of heart and potential. So I think it's going to be good to give him more minutes. But on the flip side, Brooklyn gets Dorian Finney-Smith, who I mentioned before, good 3-and-D player. I think he's going to give them something, especially when KD comes back, another defensive-minded player. And then Spencer Dinwiddie going back to the Nets. After his injury a couple years ago, I think you've really seen what he's done. He's really flourished in Dallas, playing for the Mavericks. You see his offensive potential. I think he's going to be big time for Brooklyn. I think that's really going to be a big move for them. And I look for big things for Brooklyn in the next couple seasons. Hopefully they sign Spencer to a long-term deal. And I think that, they can be taken seriously as a real playoff contender. And in the future, if they can, keep the core group of players with KD, obviously, and Ben Simmons, I think there's big things ahead for the Brooklyn Nets. So I really like the trade. I would tend to, lean the pendulum in the favor of the Brooklyn Nets. I think they won the deal long term. Obviously, Mavericks are going to sell a lot of tickets. It's going to be exciting with Luka and Kyrie Irving, who's a top 50 player, probably one of the top 10 best point guards of all time. So it's going to be exciting. Might have to purchase some tickets myself to see the show up front, close and personal. But I do think the Brooklyn Nets won the trade. So that's really all I have for today, guys. Wanted to dive into that, give you my thoughts and opinions on that. So feel free to share your thoughts on the trade and all things NBA and sports related as well. I love to chat about that. So as always, Mr. Irrelevant here signing off. I'll see you when I see you. Peace.